You got it, Toyota. You got it. You got it right out of the chute, buddy. How you doing, Keith?
Hola, amigo.
Good to be seen, brother. Hey, we got some exciting news on the Toyota Tundra over the last several days, and a little inside piece of information that our fans, I hope, will enjoy. Which, by the way, in order to kind of understand where we're going to go with this, if you subscribe to our podcast, go to partskinddaguru.com. You'll see the podcast links there. I forget what the episode number was, but we had the PANDRA on as a guest, which we'll get to the PANDRA and how that's significant here for us. But we also had a video of that particular podcast on our YouTube channel. So make sure you head on over to youtube.com/PartsKindOfGurus. Click the subscribe button and click that bell to be notified when all new videos and podcasts come out. So let's move into the meat and the potatoes here of this thing.
To a lot of folks that are going to see this, it's going to be very subtle, and you may miss what's going on here. So Toyota announced an all-new Tundra. They released about a minute-long video segment for it. It's really polarizing. So I'm hearing like it's extremes in the responses. People either love it or they're like, I hate what they did to it.
Right.
And you know, okay. But I don't even. So I love the way they unveiled this new Tundra, even more so than the truck itself, for so many reasons, Jay. So, first of all, I owned the 4Runner that is featured in that that video, and if you haven't seen it, we'll post a link to it. But it had the removable hardtop in the back. Mine was a manual trans.
It was a great ride, man.
Manual locking hubs on the front. You had to get out and physically put it in 4-wheel drive, and it was referred to by one of our friends as the McFly, which was apparently it inspired him to get his Tundra. So then there's another segment in that video and this is the subtle part that Jay was just talking about. You see a white Tundra with a rack in the bed, driving through a fire, and you might be looking at that going, "Well, what is that all about?" Right? Well, there is a real world connection there.
There
Jay,
is
absolutely. Tell us, Jay.
Absolutely, real work connection there. And this spot was the Born to be Invincible spot. Did we mention that?
You did now, sure.
Yeah.
Just now.
So it's the Toyota Tundra Born to be Invincible spot. And before we get into the background of that, it was really exciting for Toyota to bring this baby back in the way they did. There's, I think, 5 or 6 different trims, and we'll get into a little bit of that. We're not going to go overboard with it because there's so much new information coming even as we speak. So we're not going to even speculate, but we'll tell you what we do know. So Keith and I were at SEMA in 2018 or 19? 19. Okay. And so Keith and I are running around the West Hall, and we are looking for people to. If you go around the SEMA show, you'll see a lot of women in the industry there, and a lot of them are there. They are basically the front or the face of their models. They're the booth. So they get hired through these agencies. So Keith and I thought it would be an interesting, interview to ask them what got them into it, and do they enjoy the sport? Are they into it for the racing, or are they just there for the money, for the paycheck?
So they're at the Toyota booth, right?
At the Toyota booth. So we're walking around. And we see these 2 young ladies, and we start talking to them. And Keith asked them if we could take pictures, and sure. And all of a sudden, the one girl says to Keith, she goes, you should be talking to that guy.
Who, by the way, in the shot, in the background, is giving me the full-on, he's photobombing, right?
Yeah, photobombing. So, but he stands in front of this Toyota Tundra, which is the PANDRA, the OG PANDRA, which he drove through in and out of the fire there in Paradise, California.
Yeah.
And saved people, almost lost his life, his own life through this whole process.
Alan Pierce is his name. He's a triage nurse, or at the time was, and basically kept evacuating patients in his truck.
Yeah.
The truck that we saw, the mirrors were melted off. I mean, the front end was brown, and it was originally a white truck.
Right.
And the thing made it out. And he got to the point in that whole adventure where he went back one last time and was surrounded by flames and had basically prepared to die.
Right.
And then like a heavy Caterpillar or something, with a shovel on the front or whatever, basically plowed his way out, and he followed him out. So in this commercial, Toyota is paying homage to that event, which is, and of course, I would be remiss. My beloved FJ is featured in the snow.
Absolutely, it is.
Yeah,
there's some really cool shots of some great vehicles that Toyota has brought out in that particular Born to be Invincible commercial.
So if you want to hear more from Alan, we're going to do everything we can to catch up with him at SEMA, which is coming up. And if you want to make sure that you catch that, make sure you hit the subscribe button, click the bell. You'll be notified. We're going to be going live at SEMA many times during the week. And the best way for you to know about that is to hit that subscribe button and click the bell. Now, Jay, you had a conversation with Alan on Instagram.
Yeah, so we follow him and he follows us, which, by the way, we are at the Parts Counter Gurus over on Instagram if you'd like to follow us. We're also on Facebook.com/Parts Counter Gurus. Alan is _PANDRA if you want to follow the Pandra. And I recommend that you do follow him over on Instagram because he is an overlander. He loves getting out there. He takes the Toyota sponsors a lot of his drives, stuff that he does.
Man, I have so much in common with this guy. The McFly reference that he made, and
so
Star Wars fan.
You're gonna find this very interesting. So I saw his post, and I'm going to read you his post. It was very, very heartfelt. I thought it was really super cool. He goes, OG was in a work in progress, forever pause, but it was everything I needed when I needed it. Because of that, I was able to see my family and friends again. I was able to connect with my work family and build a new one. We were able to settle into a new place that finally feels like a home again. Then to be featured alongside the McFly SR5 was so special. That was the truck I saw in Back to the Future that inspired me to someday build the Pandra. Then you throw in those legendary Toyota rigs. Just wow. Thank you, Toyota USA, for having my back when I needed it. And, of course, Toyota USA comes back to him and says, at the Pandra, it was an honor to have you and the Pandra as part of the Tundra legacy. The Born from Invincible spot wouldn't have been complete without you. Then, I don't know if I mentioned this to you or not. So there's a person that's on Instagram, and their Instagram handle is Always Toyota. It's at Always Toyota. Hello, nice to meet you, Pandra. I'm the owner of the McFly truck used in the commercial. And so there's another relationship built. So they're awesome.
Wow, I gotta meet that guy.
Yeah. So we reached out to him. Nice. Yeah. So we reached out to him and just said to him it was awesome to have him on our podcast, and we were thrilled to see the Pandra and Toyota USA Born to be Invincible spots, and we're looking forward to the SEMA show and hope you will be there, and that we will get to see you. And he did respond to us saying that he is planning on being there so far, so we will make sure that we get that interview with him and catch up with him and look at this awesome Toyota that he has now, which is an incredible ride. I wonder if he'll get the new 2022.
Well,
if they'll do him a swap out.
Who knows? I gotta, now I'm angling for a new friend. I think that's an 86. That white 4Runner. It might be an 85, but
yeah, I believe so.
So we don't know a whole lot about the new Tundra yet. We're working on that. There's some.
What we do know, this is the third generation.
Yep.
We know that much, and that this is the first new version in 15 years that anything has happened. They nixed the V8. They have the iForce V6s in them. One is a hybrid version, and the rest are going to be, there's some TRD trims that are pretty exciting. There's crew cabs, what they call the Crew Max, albeit they have a shorter bed on the Crew Maxes, but there is an additional offering of a 6.5 foot bed for the Crew Max that you can add on as an accessory. We know that they're going to be offering factory 3-inch lift kits from Toyota. You can purchase that from them as an add-on. You can also add on some side steps, some rock bars, if you will. Stuff like that. And we know that there's going to be 6 different trims. There's going to be a TRD Sport, TRD Pro, giving you the most off-road advantages there, which will be the TRD Pro Off-Road package, which is ready to go off-road, and it is the widest stance of the 6 packages is what I know, and it is the only one that will have Toyota physically written across the front of it. The rest will have the standard Toyota emblem that we know.
My son would tell you that's the cowboy logo.
Yes, that is exactly right. There is a 1794 edition that I'm trying to kind of understand what that's all about. It's more of a Western feel to me, looks. It's got the color green that I saw was an interesting color. Not sure I care for it a lot. But if you want to go off-road, here's what I know. Don't just go buy the TRD Sport. The TRD Sport is mainly for on-road. It's built to go fast. There's some sweet packages there, but the TRD Off-Road Pro package has the skid plates and all the stuff. It's got the Fox shocks on them. We don't know a ton more about it because Toyota has not revealed everything, but we will be at SEMA. I will guarantee you that this is going to be a hot topic for a reveal at the show, and we want to be there for it.
For sure. So now, before we wrap this segment, I have to get a little bit controversial.
Okay.
Just a smidge. All right. So I know everybody's doing this. This is not a jab at Toyota. I have mixed feelings about this that I'm about to mention.
Right.
We're going to talk about this again in another segment that's coming up here, but they nixed the V8. Okay. Now
they nixed the V8.
The argument for on that is usually, and I think this is the case here, we can get the same horsepower output out of the smaller V6.
That, and I think that is definitely a key focal point for them on that.
Yeah.
They're gonna claim that, and I get that. Also, just understand the level and the push that everybody has for going green. Carbon neutrality is a big factor here. Their emissions are extremely low, much lower here than it is on the V8. And the fuel efficiency, the fuel economy is much better. And I think you're seeing a lot of them go away from the V8s to the 6 and the V6s and the 4-cylinders. Go ahead.
Hear me out here.
No,
hear
I got
me
you.
out. Okay. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
And to some people, that's the way to go.
Right.
But nobody's buying an RV these days. Oh, wait. Actually, everybody's buying an RV these days.
That's right, man.
So people actually do need to tow things.
Right.
And the towable RV industry has worked really hard over the past decade to make some of their biggest towables half-ton towable, which this is a half-ton pickup truck, right?
Right.
So I question, you can tell me that you're going to get the same output out of that smaller engine. Mm-hmm. It's going to work harder, even if you can get the same output. And Toyota is notorious for protecting that top end of their engine, right? So they try to keep that engine from being overworked because they're also famous for longevity out of those engines. Well, how do they accomplish that? Well, one way is to keep you from spinning them up as high as they'll go, right?
Right.
So
True.
I just personally feel like this could be a move, and I might be wrong here, but this could be a move where they have just sort of position themselves out of the towables industry in terms of people buying a new truck that have an RV or that want an RV or that want to be able to tow something. And I know you guys are going to go right to the towing capability of that truck, and you're going to, point to the fact that it's practically the same as the previous generation, even though it's a smaller engine and all that. Yes, but when you're climbing a mountain in Colorado, I guarantee you that V8 is going to do a better job. It just will. And
well, we'll see. We'll see. That the jury's still out on that. Now, remember, this thing is going to be a twin turbo. It is a 3.4 liter twin turbo with 395 horsepower just right out of the chute, and that's not the sport package. That's just the stock unit. So we will see. But I see where you're going with that, and for me, I mean, because Ford is not getting away from their Super Duty for a reason. That Ford Super Duty line is built and strategically marketed to people who are haulers, who are business owners that have to have large, heavy trailers pulled around behind them. You're talking fleets that can pull stuff, construction companies, utility companies, farming, all those sorts of things. They're going for the diesels. The diesel market. And I don't think Ford got rid of the Triton. The Triton is still sitting out there, I believe.
But you kind of are making my case for me here, because Toyota doesn't have anything to offer that competes with that.
Right. They don't.
And if I'm in the family that I don't want to buy a Ford, well, now you're kind of making me look at a Ford, right?
Well, if you don't want to buy a Ford, however, if you don't want to buy a Ford, but you want the look of a Ford and a little bit less price, vehicle, then you should go for the Platinum Series, because to me, it looks like the F-150. Their Platinum Series version, this trim level, if you take a look at it, it looks like an F-150 to me. The thing that sets it apart is the headlights, and then the grille is more of a diamond rather than just that straight up square. But otherwise, the stance to me, everybody's going for that big mouth grille, and because Ford does it and everybody's doing it. So we will see, and let me run through these packages again real quick. I did find a little bit more information that I think that's important to share, and we'll let our fans figure out what they think, and we'll let them take a vote. They can give us their thoughts and comment on it. But there's going to be there's SR, SR5, Limited, Platinum, 1794, and the TRD Pro trim levels. Okay, there'll be a crew and extended cab configurations. What I am seeing, like, for example, the Platinum models are more luxurious, and it's equipped with the optional rear air springs, which is available in the SR5 and Limited, Platinum, and 1794 models that can raise the truck for low-speed off-road driving or lower it to make it easier to load the bed or hook up to a trailer. The Platinum has gray 20-inch wheels, and this color that I'm looking at right now that's called Blueprint, I dig it. I really like that. Now, the 1794 off-road package, TRD off-road package, 1794 Special Edition was offered on the old Tundra, and it is a reference to the factory in San Antonio, Texas, where the truck is built. There you go. Before the plant existed, the site was previously a ranch that first opened in 1794. This edition is finished in mesquite. See, I told you it had some sort of weird color. And it was also equipped with the TRD off-road package. The 1794 models without the TRD off-road package have more chrome and trim, and it also has a 1794 edition badge on the front door, and there you go. So I would encourage any of you guys to go to Toyota.com and check it out. There's a lot of interesting features that this truck is going to have. Will it be a hauler? That is the question that Keith has raised here.
Let me tease this, and you guys, I will commit. I'm going to speak for Jay here. We promise to do a follow-up video on this truck in the very near future. Might have some additional inside information while at SEMA, where we will give you the additional specs that we do not have the time to give on this video. Why am I having such a hard time talking to Jay?
You're doing fine. You're doing fine. Now, here's the thing, because we have a lot to say in a short amount of time, and that's why. I think, right, exactly. But here's what I think is going to be exciting: is if what we can do is do it from a live, a live feed of this, and maybe somebody from a Toyota official with us giving us a hand.
In the meantime, make sure you hit subscribe, ring the bell. The standard iForce that Jay's been talking about, that's the twin turbo V6, Toyota says is going to be up to 389 horsepower,
Right.
and 479 pound-feet of torque. So
Right.
up to, right? So the
Right.
to be continued. We'll get into the towable stuff here
Right.
shortly.
We will.
And everybody just make sure you're plugged in, please and thank you, and we will update you shortly. Thanks for watching, everybody.